this. Regarding Gnecsis, somewhere in those documents that I've shared, you will find us identifying. By the way, let me just make a quick comment about the documents. What you're reading is an April digest that I send to my regional director, Dr. Danny Gomez, who, by the way, also sends his compliments and greetings to you as a team working with us in Africa. So I share that digest with him, but this is a little bit more of a comprehensive sharing on this PowerPoint. When we talk about Gnecsis, we're talking about the global consortium and that initiative to have our student information systems brought together, in some way standardized. In the past, we've had different fields keeping different student information, and it was not always well taken care of. Now we have a system made possible by IBOE so that we're able to get all of our information onto central databases and keep that. SANU was the first, in fact, I think, of all our 52 institutions. SANU, through Professor Winnie, had requested a system like this. And so in some ways, she gave generation to that. She oriented us to thinking in that regard. NTC South Africa has taken full deployment, by the way, of their system, and they're currently working with it. And from what I've heard, it's working fairly well. ANU is in the process, African Nazarene University. They're working, because it's a huge institution, they're working out some of the minor details. And I'm in the hope that Nazarene Bible College, East Africa, and ITN is also being incorporated into the system. Now, let me tell you about ITN. ITN is the same as Nazarene Theological Institute. ITN is the French version, and both of them we do function with the Anglo and the Francophone in West Africa, moving right up until Central Africa and even to some parts on the Eastern fields. So ITN serves almost 16 different nationalities, 16 different countries, a variety of ethnicities, and I'll show you the numbers a little later on. We are training clergy, primarily we are training clergy in those schools across these various nations. And so you would imagine that a student information system, keeping track of those who are ready for ordination, those who have finished their courses, not everybody finishes in block. So there's a necessity, and recently we had a glitch in the system, but because of our team at Global, they were able to help us through the Gnecsis. Library network, obviously, it used to be called Mission Nazarene Libraries. I just want to say a few things on this one. Because of this partnership, and it's a critical partnership, we are really longing to see some things develop apart from just a repository format. And I'm connecting this because I didn't have any other place to connect this. My excitement and enthusiasm is for developing African writers so that we can have more material written from the North, the East, the South, pertaining to Wesleyan theological studies. Let me tell you why that's important. Africa, for the longest time, historically, has had most of the mission work in Africa was embedded within Reformed theology. It gave rise to systems that were, in many cases, very harsh. And so as we work towards producing theological thinkers in the Wesleyan tradition, I think this is critical for us. Recently, as we worked with the network of Southern African schools, higher education Christian schools, private higher education schools, one thing stood out for us was that we don't have the numbers in terms of writers, African writers writing in the Wesleyan tradition. So when I talk about library, I also want to push that a little bit more to say we need publication. We need stimulation from our academic deans across our 9 schools in Africa. And so I've covered some of that. Our universities are producing many dissertations through the year. We need those dissertations captured. We need them as part of our libraries. If we can publish them and put them also in some format, printed format, if we can release them into digital format, that's building the African resource from a Wesleyan perspective. And so we would also love to work with our global libraries. We've tried that in the past. Somehow we've not ironed out all the glitches, and you can ask me about the glitches a little later on. But I think this is something that we should be working